Hey, it's Docfire, and we're here at the Nova Paintball's NX1 Sentinel pump gun. This is their second pump gun that's based on the Autococker or the War Games Products traditional body. So we'll kind of scroll through here. This is the second video of this series. There was an unboxing video, then there was a shooting video, which was before this. So it'll be the third video, I guess. But real quick, let's kind of go through. This is, there's the Sentinel. And we're going to go through a teardown on it in this video, but we're going to go through some options here. So let's just pick one of these. Let's pick this orange one. That's the purple one. I go to this purple one. Good looking gun. And so you have options on it, without a regulator or with a regulator. So at the least, without a regulator and without a front block with a banjo bolt, it is $379. Okay. If you add a regulator, it's $429. If you add the front block, it's $454. So it does come standard with their the Nova. Oh, what's the name of this barrel? Hold on, I'll tell you here in a second. It's the Odin. It's in the Odin barrel. Oh wait, it's gonna be under accessories. So and 3 in. Man, Reaper. Oh, it's the. I think it's the. It's called the intact barrel, which is regularly $99 for the kit, or $59 just for the barrel and one insert. This is the same barrel as the Scony Epsilon barrel, made by the same company for them. Let's go back to the Sentinel Autococker here. We're going to go back to, let's just go to this green one, I guess, now. They do have other colorways. They have some splashes. I don't know how many they have of those, but so it will come with the barrel, and it comes with, I think, the black insert from Nova, and I think that's the 677 insert from Nova. It doesn't say here. Oh, where does it say what insert? Uses Nova bore kits or the Scony bore kits. But mine came with the 677. I recommend that you get it with the regulator and the front block to save yourself a little bit of cash there. So the difference is essentially $380 comparative to $354. So what is that? Let's get the calculator out. 380 minus 455. 455. We're going to round up. It's a $75 difference, and what you're getting is more than $75 worth of product, because if you go and you look at their accessories, Autococker accessories, the regulator is $79. So basically you're getting the front block and a portion of the regulator for free. But anyway, worth it on that. It does come with their balanced pressure balance valve, and but worth the $425 in my opinion. If you're going to do it, just go the full way. So if you ever decide to sell it, you have some options, or if you decide to change things. But let's come back to me. Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is, I don't do reviews anymore because I own a store and I sell products, and I am a Shock Tech dealer, and people call me a Shock Tech shill. That's fine. I'm fine with that. I like the products. I'm an Inception dealer. I have reached out to Meteor to get some of their stuff, and some other companies. I'm a Hogue dealer. I'm a Kill Shot Customs dealer. So there's a lot of products that I carry. So maybe I'm a shill for those. I try to carry products that I think are good sellers and are quality for the end user. That's my goal. So I don't sell a lot, but I'm okay with it. That's fine. But anyway, here's the box. I got the gray pump kit. Comes in a cardboard box, nice cardboard box, with a sticker on it with the colorway, and mine is a 001. Wasn't the first one off the off the cart? I don't know, probably not. I'm gonna dim down this light if I can. Ugh. Just, oh, because I got a plastic bag. It's gonna be really reflective. I got to figure that one out. But let's go through. Kind of already. Let's start. We're gonna tear things down. So let's look at the front block. Now the front block I've already inserted in this. I want to focus. I've already put a plug in it, and these plugs you can get on my website, Docfire Paintball. They're they have a seal on them, and they work really good for that. This is a stainless steel version, and then the other one is a nickel. Let me focus this. Is a nickel brass. Come on, get in focus. And super nice plug. It seals up. There's no Teflon tape needed or any of that stuff. So it's a really, really nice plug. This does not come with a plug in it. At least mine didn't. The O-ring, the banjo bolt. Let's get this up closer into focus. It's got a small O-ring, and it looks like probably like a 14 on the front. Maybe a 13, and then a larger, whatever standard size that is, 113, I think. I can't remember what it is. And I don't have a chart here, so I'm just gonna guess. It seems pretty standard war games. The front O-ring rides in a little groove, which allows this to seal on the inside lip, not this outer one. It will accept a standard O-ring and a different type of banjo bolt. At least I think it will. I don't have any extra ones to. I don't think I have any. But what's nice about this is this one. It will, when it tightens down. In here, it's flush with the face. So that's a nice feature. I like that. The front block. I haven't screwed any components into it. I don't know if I have any that are right offhand here. Let me grab a RAM, an LPR, and a three-way. Make sure everything screws into it. Grab some parts here. War games. And a couple other parts. There's a. I don't know if that's a shock diagram. And I can't find a low pressure chamber. Save my life. Yeah, we'll just see how these screw into it. And I'm gonna apologize beginning. I'll try to cut through this video in editing. I tend to be a little long-winded. RAM screws in just fine. Perfect three-way. This is a War Games CT three-way. Nice threads all the way through. Feels really good. I don't have a low pressure chamber to screw on it, but I just wanted to make sure the component screwed into it. And it does, so that's always good. Threads feel very engaged, so that's a nice thing. So we'll set that off to the side. Actually, we'll put it back in its nice little plastic Ziploc baggie. Set it off to the side. And let's go into tearing apart this marker. I got my glasses on so I can kind of see. Do need to clean them a little bit. We're going to take out this regulator. The Novus regulator, what do they call this regulator? Hold on, I got to remember what they called. They called this the Guardian regulator. I got to make sure I get all the names correct on that. Guardian regulator, I helped in some of the design work, not internals, but the externals with Chris from the original design. Just gave them some suggestions a long time ago, and when they're developing it. It's a nice regulator. There's some pros and cons to it, but it functions for the most part like a nice regulator. The one thing that I like or dislike is that this end cap, it locks this swivel in place, and which is fine, but every time I want to take it off, which I shouldn't have to take it off a lot. I wished when this end cap locked down, it still allowed a little space where this could swivel around like like so it could swivel around. Nice. Kind of makes it nice. So let's go through this. I'm not going to completely go through this. It's got an end cap, and I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit more so we can get in on these parts. It's got an end cap. Set that off to the side. These come factory set at 300 psi. It's got the I guess the collar, the input collar, so that off to the side. And then essentially if we grab onto the silver part and we unscrew it from the body, we're going to pull it out. And this is just the top. There's nothing else in here. I don't know if there's any other O-rings in there except on the top. Set that off to the side. Here's the Belleville disc stack and a spacer washer there. And this should have 6 Belleville discs opposing each other, or 6 stacks, so 12 Belleville discs all opposing each other, so there's 2 per stack, so there's 6 stacks. And the reg seat is integrated in the bottom here. If I can get this into focus, the reg seat is right there. I'm going to set that off to the side. There's 2 O-rings here. I think they're either 13s or 14s. And then the adjuster, the adjuster's a 2-piece. So let's see if I can get this. You have 2 pieces to the adjuster. And this adjusts just like a war game. If you screw the adjuster in, tightening it down essentially lowers the pressure, and if you unscrew it, it increases the pressure. And how this works is the outside aluminum part is broached for an Allen, and this is preset. So what you can do is essentially just install this one, screw it into what the maximum pressure you would ever want to operate at, and then screw this guy in to where it just touches, it stops, and then you'll do all your adjustment off this the smaller inner one, which I think it's 5/32. Let's see, yeah, 3/32. Maybe it's 3/32. I don't know. I thought it was 5/32. Let me see. No, it's 3/32. I think I said 5/32 on the previous video. It's 3/32. You'll do all the adjustment off the inner one, and this is the governor. You could essentially, if you wanted to make sure this governor doesn't move, you could put a little bit of Loctite on there if you wanted, like some purple, low strength. Set it to where you want, let it cure overnight, and then you'd be all happy-go-lucky. But from there, we're going to go and I like to get something soft down there. We're going to push out. It's basically got several components on the inside. Let's kind of put these things in order. Spring, and then it's got an O-ring in here. I'm going to go pick it out. If you haven't seen these, this essentially seals that guy right there. There's a seal, and so it goes like that. This is the port that the, come on, there he goes, that the reg seat pushes against. So air will go up, will go into here, and it will go through this little hole on the side. You can kind of see that little hole, and then it will come out the top, and this will either turn it on or off. It basically opens and closes as the pressure is relieved. This spring essentially just kind of makes sure, like on a standard War Games regulator, kind of holds that top hat or that upper O-ring in place. That's all it does. And this is essentially the canister. So it's, you know, pretty much a standard style regulator, except the reg seat is on the piston, similar to how it is like on a tank regulator. Very similar to that. We're going to drop the spring in there, and I think there's a wider end and a narrow end. The wider end goes in first. This has got a couple O-rings on it. I don't know what size they are. Nova will provide all that stuff. And then I'm going to screw that in a little bit. I'm gonna have to resettle this. I'm gonna put this guy in just a little bit to where it stops. There we go. And we can screw this back into the base. Oh wait, before we do that, we have to put this guy in place. Screw this into the base, screw it together, and this is an override. Now, my understanding is this is about a 0 to, or close to 0 to 500 psi adjustability. Their regs are, their inner core regs, it's the same inner core that's like on most of their other guns. They just put it in a different outside housing. So pretty simple to maintain. It's pretty much toolless. So let's set that off to the side. Zoom out a little bit. Some tools away. Their Guardian reg. Feedneck. Feedneck is, let's go all the way in. Feedneck's the same as what you see from Master Scony. Actually, I think the initial purchase was from Master Scony on these. So you would see in those Feedneck on, I think Meteors were using these for a while. Free Flow, early Free Flows were using them. And Scony's made a lot of these for folks. But it's clamping style Feedneck. It's a, I would call it a mid-grade Feedneck. And for this kind of vintage, or this price point, it fits right within the price point of, I would say, a fairly quality Feedneck on that. Okay, so that's in there. What I was going to tell you what you can do, and I'm going to see if I can get this out without mooring things up. If I can do this. I do a modification. I was going to show you guys the modification. I take the screw out of this knob, and I swap it with an 8x32 set screw that's an inch long. You got this on 8x32 by an inch long, and I essentially Loctite this screw. If I can get everything lined up here, and I essentially, up in the focus world, come on, right there, I will Loctite that into this part, because what I like is, if this came loose in the field, I don't want to lose this little black anodized aluminum spot. I want that to be encapsulated there. I can always find an 832 knob. That's pretty easy to find. So, but I would rather not lose that. And so while we're at it, we're going to do this mod real quick if I can get everything apart. Need to get the right Allen key here. Oops, that's the wrong one. And that is the right one. I think they may have Loctited this screw into here, which is fine. But let me do a little tinkering. My Knipkits pliers, and I'm going to hold this guy, and yeah, it feels like they may have used a little Loctite. Uh-oh. I lost my Allen key. Allen the key. Oh, that goes here. All right. These Knipkit, I don't know how you pronounce it. These pliers are so nice. So yeah, this is just tightened. They're a little tight. There was no Loctite on it. So we're going to do this. We're going to do the Loctite right now. And I would recommend doing this. This is a nice little mod. I do this on all Scony Feednecks that I install for customers. I don't charge them anything more for it. I would recommend doing this. Does it work the other way fine? Works fine the other way. It's okay. A little bit of blue Loctite on this guy. Kind of smear it around. Don't need much. And I'm going to, oops, put it in here. And I'm going to screw it in until it goes to the end. Just where I can see it protrude. I want to wipe up any Loctite with my t-shirt so people get, so my wife gets mad at me. And then we're going to just Now run this through, and then I'm going to snug it down on the opposite side. I just want to put a little pressure on that. I want to make sure that the lever still clears everything, and it does. I can get this guy and just back off a little bit. There we go. I want to make sure I don't have everything in the focus here. I don't know why it's not going to focus. I want to make sure that the pin, that set screw, goes all the way through but doesn't protrude farther past this little aluminum dowel. So you can still swivel this in and out. So that's the goal. So that's done. That's a quick little mod you can do. What's nice is if you lose this nut, it's an 832. You can go to a hardware store, probably find some brass hardware nuts that are knurled for lamps or something like that, and you could quickly fix it. But if you lose this aluminum piece here, you're going to have to manufacture something. You're going to have to, either get some round Delrin or brass and drill a hole in it, tap it. It's a little harder fix. And for the cost of that little part, that little set screw, it's worth it. So that's what I just do. I just swap this out. But anyway, let's start taking things apart. We're going to go into the frame. Is the next thing. We're going to take the frame off the body. These are 1032 1/8 inch Allen key. I always like taking one off, holding the frame, then taking the second. The threads feel great on this body. It feels like the threads are really machined well. We're going to put the body off to the side. A little stand here. And I kind of go out a little bit. And let's go take off these grip panels. Grip panels are coming off. Now, I am not going to completely take apart this frame because the ball detents are like a War Games ball detent. They are a complete bitch to put in and out. Actually, Christopher Nova and I talked about that today, about if I had any solutions on putting those in there without having the balls fly over the place. You lose half the balls. And I said it's 90% luck, 10% happiness. I don't know. He's done new grip panels, and he has these manufactured overseas, I think. Really nice. I can get in there. They're just a nice rubber, lightweight. They have a nice texture to them. They're hollow on the back, but they're very flexible, not hard plastic. They're not going to crack. You can wash them easy. So nice grip panels. I think right within the price point. So let's take off this on-off because I want to see how it goes on and off. And let's see what I have. Okay, so it's a 5/64 one there. There's one there. So it's only two. Has 4 holes in the bottom, but only 2 screws. I don't think you need anything more than 2. Yeah, it only... Oh, I see. It looks like the part was manufactured and then they forgot to tap it. So they only tapped 2, which is fine. That happens in early production. They see that. They usually clean that stuff up and then move on. But that is fine. So 2 screws. It's T-slotted. I don't know if any other T-slot stuff here. I don't think I have any other T-slot parts. But anyway, the frame. Let's compare it against a War Games frame. And I've got a couple frames we can compare it against. I have a nice CCM frame, a benchmark frame I call it, and War Games. The War Games is a tad longer on the end. You guys can kind of see that. Let me kind of put things up there. Geometry wise, it's a tad longer. This frame is taller up here, and so you can get your fingers up a little higher, a little bit. It seems to be. It's just almost the same width. It's not as deep on this trigger guard as you can see, and it's a little narrower here. You can see kind of between the two triggers. The War Games trigger looks like it sticks back a little bit further. On the top, they pretty much, it's a mirror kind of in machining on parts, a mirror on this stuff. So I think an auto trigger, any auto triggers that would fit these hinge frames, if any do, I don't know, I think would probably fit this one. They have the encapsulated hinge dowel for the sear is held in with a locking screw. So yeah, that seems pretty standard. So let's kind of look with the CCM. It's definitely taller than a CCM. About the same trigger space. CCM's got a little bit more of a swoop, but about the same as a CCM. You know, very except it's a little bit longer. So just kind of comparison. You know, I would call a CCM kind of a top tier. This frame feels good, nice and smooth. It does not have any travel adjustments that I can see. There's no travel adjustments put in the frame here, just I see the sear spring there. So I don't know. It seems like, hopefully, and I don't know, I haven't put this on with standard pneumatics. I know it works with their system. You guys have seen their videos on that. How will it work with standard pneumatics, I have no idea. This set screw, kind of wish it was Loctited in place. These are things that come loose, but not the end of the world. Pin comes out, sear comes out. It's a small little spring, looks like about 1 inch long and about a 1/4 inch diameter. And then the sear pin, 1/8 inch. And this really looks like War Games. So you don't need a roller sear on these, no need. There's no additional spring. Let me get my light in here. I want to see how the front pin is held in place. So I don't know how the front pin is held in place, unless it's purely a tap in. I don't see any, like on War Games you had a little set screw in here that was drilled into the trigger. Like I said, I don't know how these are held in place. I don't know if they're pressed in. I'm trying to see what rotates here. Let me see if I can see what actually rotates on this. Okay, so what it feels like is the pin, it may be pressed into this, and I don't see a screw. Maybe there's one in here. Just don't see anything. Yeah, I don't know. So I think it's the roll pin is, or the pin, the dowel pin is pressed into the trigger, and it rides, it hinges on the outside. So the outside holes are a little bit bigger. That would be my guess. I don't know if I can push it out. Doesn't want to move, so it doesn't seem like it wants to move. So seems to work fine. I don't think it's going to come loose. But yeah, so we can put all this back together. There is any way to do a rear travel. You'd be able to do a rear travel adjustment on this if you wanted to. like on war games, they have a screw that goes straight up and it hits the bottom of the sear and it limits the rear travel on it. And so you would be able to do that with this. You'd have to drill in this frame and do it, which is fine. So it's a, you can modify the frame for that. But does the frame function? We already showed that it functioned with an autococker. Does it function, or with a pump? Does it function with standard autococker parts? We don't know. We'll have to. I'll let you know. Actually, there is one of the body kits is in Europe. It's the Pink Gun. It went to a female European player over there. I'm trying to get everything lined up here. There it goes. Why need to put the spring in here? That would help. Put the spring in. Makes it a little easier to line things up. Okay, where can I get things? Oh, there we go. There we go. Stop being a dum-dum. Sorry. Okay, that's in there. I need my little set screw, and I am going to put, I have a little bit of purple Loctite here, which is low strength. I just put a little Loctite. I'm a proponent of putting Loctite on things because things inevitably vibrate loose. Snug that down. It's interesting. So that's interesting. It has the brass safety, when it's on, limits the forward travel a little bit. So I don't know if that's, look at this Wargames one, if that would be that's a problem here. Oh, this one. That one's still out of adjustment. It's hard to say. I don't know if that's going to be a problem. I don't think it is. Because quite frankly, I don't think it is. And if it did, I would just pull the safety to get more forward travel. But I don't think it's an issue at all. So, yeah. So the frame, we'll set that off to the side. And we're going to take a quick little pause here and we'll get into the on-off.